Welcome to the Your Limitless Leadership Podcast with Jenny and Brent Widman. Here, we believe leadership isn't just about titles. It's about how you show up in every aspect of life. Whether you're leading a business, building a legacy as an entrepreneur, guiding your family, or striving to lead yourself first, this podcast is for you. Join us as we dive into real conversations about growth, decision-making, and the courage it takes to lead with purpose. Get ready to be inspired, challenged, and equipped to become the limitless leader you are meant to be. This is Your Limitless Leadership Podcast. Let's lead without limits. Welcome to Your Limitless Podcast. And today, I am co-host Brent Widman with Mrs. co-host Jenny Widman. And today, I feel like we have a special one for you today. And I say that because this has to do with leadership, not just obviously in the workplace and being that leader and all those things that come with it, but it's also being a human and being that thing at home. So I'm gonna tee this up a little bit because I know it's probably easier for me to do than it is for her. But our son is 4. And he is transitioning schools. So today is his last day at the school he's been at for what? 2 years? 2 years-ish?
2, yeah.
That's a straight up dad moment for those of you listening that we don't track that.
Well, I switched schools a couple times, so it's not really your fault.
The world I live in, put it that way. But it's for Jenny and for moms alike, and I can't speak for you, but I know that it's harder a lot of times on you than it is us as dudes, and I understand that. I don't want to take that away from people, but I'm looking at it that way. And it's how do we handle things that come at us, and how do we work within those things? And I mean that at home, that isn't just at work, because leadership comes from home. Real life, being a human, if you will, comes from home as well. So I'll turn it over to you, ma'am. But how's your day?
Trying to fight back tears as we speak right now. Dropping him off this morning, his last day of daycare, brings out so many emotions, just knowing that he's getting older. And I'm a softie when it comes to it, but I'm doing well. And one of the things that when I first had Hudson, I had a leader, her name's Emmy, and she helped me with understanding mindset when it comes to utilizing daycare. And it was really hard for me to drop Hudson off at daycare after being with him for 3 months every single day when he was just a baby. And she said to me, Jenny, what gets me through the day to be the best mom and the best person at work is if I'm going to hire and pay someone to watch my kid during the day, you better know that I am going to make every minute being away from him count. And I'll never forget when she said that to me, because ever since then, it's reshaped my mind when it came to how I spent my day away from him. And it helped me be more productive, more efficient, and give me times like, if I get this, and this done, I'm going to go pick him up at 4:00 and get him an hour early to spend more time with him. And, give me those little wins throughout the week that I'm going to be more efficient and effective in whatever the day brought because I get to go see him earlier. I know not everybody is like me, but I know I'm a better mom when I have help during the day teaching him what he needs to learn and being with his friends. And so I can have a career and a job and a business that thrives. It fills my cup. It makes me whole. And so these tears that I'm fighting it's not bad tears. It's just those tears of, oh my gosh, he's getting bigger. And it like goes so quickly yet so slowly at the same time. And it's like in 1 minute you realize, oh my God, he's entering preschool. What just happened? These 4 years just flew by. But anyway, I'm doing well. I'm fighting back the tears as we speak.
You touched on a couple of things, but it's funny. I was watching, I sent this to you yesterday, that Instagram video that almost brought me to tears as well, on how fast, like their last sleepover, the last time they chalk the driveway, the last time they ride their bike with training wheels, the last time, we talked about this the other day, you get to carry him down the steps in the morning, the last time you get to just do things. And it's crazy, after watching that video, our daughter's home, because she usually goes to daycare during the day. She's 10 and she's in softball. And it was like, what am I doing, man? Like, why can't I take a half hour to 40 minutes just to go play softball with her, right? Like, just to go help her hit. And I do think those are part of the things when we get, I don't want to say stuck in our way of life, or stuck in our jobs or business or what have you, that those times do go really fast. And I know they're either going to remember it as a kid, or they're not going to remember it because it didn't happen. And even the fact of, to put a smile on your face, I guess, like, Hud may not remember stuff when he's 4 years old, but we're going to remember that he wore a cheetah outfit to his last day of daycare because he wanted to wear it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of stuff. But even you touched on something as well that you kind of breezed over, that you schedule, or you structure your schedule to be able to do things with him. Tell the story about that, if you will, because I remember when you changed to that, but just how that came about.
I don't remember when exactly it was, maybe a couple of years ago. But I just remember before I had HUD, I worked from 8 to 5, and I had to schedule everything and go around it. And I'd even do doctor's appointments or dentist appointments at like 7 a.m. or 4 p.m. or on Fridays and things like that. And I just got very burnt out, and I felt like I was failing every area. I felt like I was failing business. I felt like I was failing being a mom. I felt like I was failing being a wife. I felt like I was failing being a friend. And I was like, I do not need to live life like this. Like, I can schedule myself, but I can go out and talk to my best friend at noon while I'm on a walk. I can finish at 3:00 on Friday and spend time with Hudson and Elle. I can go and get my nails or massage in the middle of the day because I need it. Like, I can do these things. Why do I feel like I can't? I just need to make sure that I'm doing what I need to be doing at work to also feel accomplished and also feel like I'm providing and doing what I can do, utilizing my strengths. And so I changed it, and I'm way better at work now than I ever was before. I'm more myself now. I'm a happier person now. And I think it's just providing the grace for yourself, but also the knowing what you need to operate at your fullest. And I'm not saying that I go and get massages every single day of the week. Like, I literally go once a month, but it's the fact that you can take some self-care time for yourself too, because you will operate and be better overall for any area of your life that's a pillar for you.
For people that don't hold on to, well, she gets a massage. That could be a run. That could be a walk. That could be whatever it is for you. It could be hanging out with you. Whatever is important to you is what she's saying. So hang on to that, not the thing, but hang on to what's important to you. And as you were talking about that, it made me think of leadership isn't just sitting down with somebody one-on-one and how can I help you? And let's talk about your activity and managing and all. It's leading by example as well. And it's not just in the confines of the day-to-day work. It's also in, like you said, giving yourself grace to go spend time with your kids or your family, because that gives other people permission to do that. And who wouldn't want to be or work with a leader that believes so wholeheartedly in their family and spending time with the people they care about most? Like, who wouldn't want to be around that person? And if you're not doing that, I would encourage you to start. And I could give you stories how A personality leaders really struggle with giving themselves permission, so you're not alone. And it was hard for me till I met you, that if you asked me to take off before 5 o'clock any day of the week or start after 8 any day of the week, that almost gave me hives, if you will.
I couldn't believe you went yesterday. If I'm being completely honest, I thought you were just going to go into the backyard and throw for 10 minutes. But you got in your car and went somewhere, and my jaw dropped when I saw that. Because Brent, a year ago,
no way,
could never have done that.
Nope, no way. I would not have done that at all. But that's also understanding what's important in your world and straight transparency with that. I'm going to be 50 and Elle's 10. And obviously we have years and years and years and years with them as well. And I understand that. But knowing that I only have so much time with her to be a dad and help her learn how to swing a bat or catch a ball or those things that she wants to do. Like I'm not making her. She wanted to do it. She enjoys it. I wouldn't make her do that, which is part of why. And I had the time, I had the gap, and it's like, why not? What's the worst that's going to happen if I take a half hour to 40 minutes out of my day and go spend it with her? It's only going to make me more motivated. Like you just talked about this. It makes us more efficient. It makes us more motivated. It helps us understand the why and the reasons around why we do what we do, because it's those little faces that are staring at us that if we're not doing the things that we need to do, but also providing for them, you can have your cake and eat it too. You just have to be willing to do the things. That's it. And again, I feel like that's where most of us or many people fall short, is we're at work and we're not doing what we should be doing. We're scrolling social media or surfing or shopping or whatever it is, and you're wasting the time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well get really after it and spend time where you want to spend time too. So then you're spending time here because you're being successful, and you're spending time here because your family's so important. And that's what made me think about this today, is just, I knew the HUD thing was going to happen. And again, leadership is it's by example. It's not always what you tell. A lot of times it's not what you tell somebody, because they're watching you. They just are.
Well, and to that point too, like, you don't want to show up stressed out and negative and like you can't be present in the moment. Whether you're at home or you're at work, you want to be duplicatable. Like you want people to look at you and be like, I want to be like her. I want to be like him. And that's how they want to grow with you. That's how they see a vision with you. Same with kids at home. Like they spell love time. And, HUD doesn't want to be on the iPad or watching TV and things like that. He wants me to sit at the kitchen table and color with him with no distraction. That's all he wants. We did it for an hour last night
Yeah.
together. And that's what makes him feel so happy. And it's like, if I'm thinking about 500 other things and I'm distracted and I'm on my phone or whatever the case, he's going to feel like he's not important. And so it's just super important of being that role model inside the house, because then they want to be like you when they're older, and then being the role model in the business, because then they respect you and they want to listen to you. They want to make you proud. Same thing with kids. They want to make us proud. And so it's just, how are you showing up at home that's going to make them feel that way and give their best and try their best? Same with the office. So
I want my kids to see a dad, and I'm just speaking for myself here, a dad that does dishes. That's leadership to me. A dad that puts his phone down and colors. That's leadership to me. A dad that goes for walks. A dad that kisses his wife before he goes to work. A dad that hangs out with them. A dad that goes to hit softballs or goes to every game. A dad that doesn't miss things unless absolutely necessary. There are going to be times that it happens. So I'm not saying whatever. But to me, that's the epitome of leadership, because you're creating this next wave of how to understand people around you. And even you talk about HUD going to daycare. Daycare isn't, to me, just so somebody can watch and our kid grow. It's teaching him valuable things, whether it's the ABCs or songs or having conversations with people or playing or sharing or motor skills or all these different things that, yeah, I get you can do if you're at home, but it's just this elevated thing. And that's, to me, part of leadership as well, that whatever your decision is, make the most of it. Make the most of it and watch what happens. Again, it goes back to, it's funny. I as you were talking, I thought about this story. A market exec from Morgan, great dude, and he's one of his struggles was giving himself permission to do stuff, and he just took a whole week off. His son's 10 as well, to go coach in Tennessee. He took the whole week off, and he would have never done that in the past.
oh, that's cool.
And it was just through our conversations of, it's okay, because he's going to remember that and you're going to remember that. And that is one of the coolest things. The other thing that does is every leader he has, every advisor that he has, every person around him, what do you think is going to happen when they want to do something like that?
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be afraid to ask. They're not going to be afraid to go. They're going to do it, because now everybody knows how important that is. And that was one of the stories that really resonated with me, that many people who listen to podcasts and own your business and are leaders, like, you are A personalities, and you simply do not give yourself permission to do these things at times because you feel like work is the most important thing. Work will be there, I promise you. Your emails will be there, your text message will be there, your phone calls will be there, your problems will be there, but all the stuff, it's going to be there. And it's going to be there next week and the week after and 5 years from now. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons people get into coaching with us, to be honest. Tony, one of my clients, he got into coaching. He's like, Jenny, I do not want to miss one of my daughter's soccer games. He has 3 daughters. And he was like, I missed 60% of their games last year. I felt like a horrible dad. One of my girls even came up to me and said it. And he's like, this year, I'm not going to miss one of them. And I'm putting you in my life to hold me to that and make me accountable to that. And he did it. He came to me at Christmas time and he was like, this is the best thing I could have done for my business, for my leadership. for my household, for my wife. Like it just changed his world. And it's, it's not that you need somebody to hold you accountable all the time to those things, but it helps, and you don't want to let yourself down because of it. So, yeah.
Well, it's holding the thing about when you talk about coaching, many have this premonition that it's all about somebody telling me what to do.
Yeah.
And I can't add more to my plate. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. It's about making you more efficient. It's about optimizing more. It's about, honestly, at times, giving yourself permission. I just got off a call today, and the dude said, "This is my favorite time of the week."
Aww.
And that's simply because he gets to talk through things, and he gets to walk through things personally and professionally that are going to help him when he gets off that.
Mm-hmm.
And there was you have to do more of this, you have to do more. There was things, that he had to do, but it's right within his work day. Here's an example for you. His boss, he literally said, "I have a one-on-one with my boss today." And she's like a regional leader. And she'll probably cancel it before the call, which tells me she's done it before. And I was like, well, own it then. Tell her she can't cancel it unless she gives you 24 hours notice. And I go back to when I first, you know this story, Jenny, when I first started and had one of the best leaders I've ever had. Her name's Dew. And I tried to cancel a one-on-one with her 15 minutes before. And she says that doesn't ever effing happen again, ever. And since then, I haven't done it because it was ingrained in me that is a disrespectful thing to do to somebody. And where I'm going with this is we have the ability to give ourselves permission, ability to ask for help. And that's vulnerability is leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And vulnerability, when you get on a podcast and you cry because you're dropping your son off for the last time at the daycare he goes to, and it's not so much about that per se, but as thinking about the future and 2 weeks from now when he's going to Sissy's school and all. And I'm guessing that's a lot that has to do with it, but it's giving yourself to feel those feels, I guess, put it that way, right? Yeah, she just shakes her head. That's part of life, man. Don't let it pass you by.
I love what you just said about disrespecting time, though, because it is one of the most disrespectful things. And I say that a lot in my coaching. Like, you can reschedule. I mean, that's fine. Like, I totally get life happens. Things come up, but give that 24-hour notice. When you give the 24-hour notice, I can fill it with another income producing activity. I can fill it with something that's meaningful. When you tell me 10 minutes before the time, it's harder to do so. I can't just reschedule somebody in that time. It's right before, unless if it's life threatening. Tell me about it. Tell me what just happened. Tell me why you have to reschedule. But if you're just rescheduling for rescheduling's sake, it is no, like, that is rude. And, I just don't think people respect their own time so much. When people do reschedule on them, talk about it. Hey, that really frustrated me. You told me 5 minutes before the call. Did something happen? Are you okay? Like, why would you do that? And make it known that it's disrespectful. And then people are going to respect you more because you respect yourself because of it. So
I 100% agree with all of that statement. And I'm going to lay this out there too. If you are one of those people that is consistently late, change it. Change it. Don't tell yourself that's who I am. I'm just a late person. This is how it works. This is what I do. I'm just known for this. what Jenny just said is you are also with that aspect. You are disrespecting those people and telling them, and you've heard this before, if you are a late person, that you are telling those people that their time is not as valuable as yours. And that's not okay. And I know I'm on a tangent here, but that is one of the things in my world that drives me absolutely batty is if somebody cancels on me last minute. And I was taught this. So this is something that's been ingrained in me. I didn't used to be this way. And the other thing is if somebody is always late or consistently late, I'm just done inviting those people to things because my time's valuable. And I don't mean that in a money sense. I just mean if you're taking time away from me, it's going to affect other aspects of my day. And I'm not going to let it, that's boundaries. I'm not going to let it take away from my family either. So there's a domino effect here, I guess, is the way my mind works and when I look at it. But respect.
And when it comes to the respect and time, and one of the most impactful things I've heard from a leader is, they were asked who is the most important person in their life. And I was expecting this person to say my kids or my wife or their parents, and his answer was none of those. His answer was whoever is in front of me in that present moment. And that reshaped what I thought the most important person in my life would be. Of course, my family is right on up there, but it is who you're in front of in that present moment. It is, when you look at it that way and you are completely in the present, you are right where you need to be. And you are practicing and teaching others to be present. And I loved that answer because it's something that's hard for me to do at times. It is. My head's going 11 different directions. I'm thinking of all these things that I have to do and all the activities and dinner and sports and and my coaching client and the emails. There's a million things we have to do in a given day. But when you can turn all of that off and just be in the present moment with who you're with, there's nothing more powerful than what that can provide for you long term. So
maybe you just need to get dumber. Maybe that's your problem.
I guess women and men operate differently. I know.
I was going to say, it's pretty easy for me to shut things off.
The difference between men and women.
I go back to what you just said. It was probably 12-ish years ago now. And I went down and I spoke in Mankato, Minnesota for a financial group. And there was probably 20 people in the room. And at the end of the hour, right, we're asking people to sign up for coaching and all the different stuff. And some people put ones on their sheet, they're in, twos, they're a maybe. Threes, they're out. And I was talking to a two, and she was probably 60, 62 at the time. And I had a bunch of sheets that had twos on them, and so did hers. And I'm sitting there talking to her, and I'm thinking about all the other people that I need to talk to and all these people I need to get to. And she's talking about her husband that had cancer. And in that moment, it's like time stopped in that moment. I remember her being like short, standing in front of me. But the way I remember it now, everything else was dark around me. Because I thought in that moment, who am I not to listen to her? She's trying to tell me a story about her husband and what he's going through and the struggles and how hard it is for her. And she just needed somebody to talk to in that moment. And who am I to sit here and think about, I have all these other twos that I need to close and make money and all this stuff. And it changed that very moment, changed the way I look at things like that. And that's why I can tell that story today. It's like I paused and time just kind of froze. And I hope when you're listening to this that you recognize those moments that you have, that the phone doesn't matter. The people around you that want your attention and people, the email and all this stuff, that's going to be there. What matters is the person that's right in front of you and the most important person in that moment. Be present with that person. Be in it with that person. If you're saying affirmations with HUD on the way to school this morning, you're not checking your phone and you don't have the radio on blast. You're in that moment with him. You're in that moment with him. I hope that you think about that. And maybe it is to minimize it or just to become dumb or compartmentalize or whatever it is. Slow down. Now, not all the time and every day and every moment. You know what I'm saying here. But you will slow down, and I will guarantee you that your life in different facets will speed up in a good way because you are caring about what's important to you in that moment. Hands down. Yeah. It's crazy.
Why do you have to say the Hudson comment? You know?
Well, it's true. It's crazy how things like that hit us that we take for granted at times.
Well, I said to him, I was like, this is our last morning affirmation to your school. And he goes, no, it's not, Mommy. We get to do it at my new school. We get to make new affirmations and go to my new school. I was like, oh my gosh, way to be so positive.
Yep.
You are my son. I love it.
But it's things like that, you know, to him, it's not a big deal. To him, it's whatever. He'll be done and go on to the next thing. And I think that's where it's okay to give yourself permission to wallow a little bit and be frustrated and hurt. But it's also, I don't know. I hope, I really, really hope when you are listening to this that you take these things in and almost evaluate. And I'm not going to say reevaluate because I don't think it's evaluate things that you need to do or are not doing that can help you be more in the moment, help you more with compartmentalization, or help you care about those people around you. Maybe it's that phone call to people. Maybe you just need to call mom and dad. I don't know. But give yourself permission to do those types of things. And again, it goes back to when you're doing it and people hear about you doing it, what do you think those people around you are going to do? I was on a conversation yesterday she's a executive assistant. I just wanted to talk to her, so we set up a half-hour call. She supports one of the execs that I work with. And she says one of the things that I help him with is to make sure he talks to his mom and dad once a week. And I was like, I got off that call. I didn't call my mom and dad. I called my brother. I got off that call and I called my brother because I know that I haven't talked to him for a week and a half or 2 weeks, and I need to talk to him. That's giving yourself permission for the things that are important in your world. And again, maybe it's people won't see it in the moment, but you listening to this because you know that I did that, maybe you're going to get off this and call your mom and dad or your brother or your sister. And then that person's going to do it. And then that person's going to do it. And there's this ripple effect that happens in your world as well that sometimes we don't even know about.
You should call Bob and Gail today then.
Not good job. The tangled web.
I love it. I love it. The
Uh,
last thing I'll input on here is, I imagine one day someone asking Hudson, how is it that you have such a positive attitude? How is it that you are so grateful and kind? How is it that you are such a hard worker and give your best at everything that you do? And I imagine him saying, I learned it from my mom. I imagine him saying, I see her example every single day. And that is what gets me thinking of the positive. It gets me just showing him that you can do whatever you want to do and you have to try your best. And I just want to be that role model. So I would ask whoever is listening to this, what do you want your kids saying one day about you? And have you thought of that? And are you living that?
Love that. That is being the example. I'm going to leave it right there. Thank you for being on here. And again, I go back to this. If you like what you hear and want to have a conversation with either one of us, it's DNA, as in dog DNA, as what your DNA, what makes you you, call.com. And we will find time for you. Hands down. You know that. So thank you for listening to this. I truly appreciate it. Take care. Thanks for joining us on the Your Limitless Leadership Podcast with Jenny and Brent Widman. We hope today's conversation inspired you to think differently about leadership, not just in your career, but in every part of your life. Remember, leadership starts with leading yourself first. It's about taking action, making bold decisions, and showing up with purpose. Now, it's time to take what you've heard today and put it into practice. Whether it's in your business, your community, your family, or your own personal growth, start leading without limits. You have the power to become the leader you're meant to be. Until next time, keep pushing your boundaries and leading with purpose.